everyone, my name is Emily Roberts. I'm either your diamond upline or diamond sideline, and I'm so glad that you are watching this video because we are going to meet somebody that's pretty incredible when it comes to network marketing, especially through social sharing on Instagram. You are going to meet my friend Jen and hear her story in just a minute. But tonight, just lean in, take some notes, rewatch this later. Hopefully the captions on YouTube are working and we're not talking too fast, but we're thankful that you're here. So I'm going to turn it on over to Jen right now. I'm super stoked to hear and learn from her. You guys grab a notebook and pen. This is going to be awesome. Go ahead, Jen.
Hey, you guys. I am Jennifer Cobb, and as Emily said, I'm a Diamond Ambassador. I started my Plexus journey 2 years ago, almost exactly. So August of 2018, I started my journey. And I think it's important to know like why people started. I started out of a place of need for income. So I did not start for the products or for the health benefits, but of course, like everyone else who does Plexus, you learn afterwards how much you need the products. So I started for the business, and we were just at a place where my husband had lost his job. We had no income coming in. I was a stay-at-home mom. I have 3 boys, boy mamas unite. And I just was in a place of just a really dark place. So like I said, I didn't know I needed the products, but the products were helping me to also get out of that dark space. But what I love about my story, and hopefully will transfer through tonight, is that I joined through my friend Marianne Anderson. I don't know if you guys follow at This Loud House. She is my sponsor. And I joined because I was watching her share on Instagram. Like, she was constantly sharing every single day on Instagram about Plexus in some way, shape, or form. She was sharing about the product. She was sharing about the business. She was always sharing. And so one day, it was July 12th. You ever have like a moment in your life where you remember it exactly? Like, you remember where you were standing, what you were wearing, how you felt that day. I remember the temperature, everything. I was standing in my living room, and Marianne had posted about how she was making a 6-figure income sharing this pink drink that she talked about every day. And of course I had heard her say that again, but I needed to hear it that day. And so when I heard it that day, is when I messaged her. We had not talked, like we were not really friends beforehand. I trusted her because she was sharing things so openly on Instagram, but we're going to talk about that. But I just reached out and I was like, Marianne, I need these products. Can you sign me up? And she was just like, yes. And I didn't even want to talk about the products. I don't even care what she signed me up with. And I know that that's not the normal way to sign people up, but I didn't care. I was just like, I need to make $1,000 my first month. Can I do this? And she said, 100% you can. And I always tell people, I didn't make $1,000 my first month. I made $1,642 my first month. So, because I had a need. And so that's a lot about what I want you guys to keep in the back of your head as we're going through this training, is sharing, sharing what you have, sharing because you just don't know who's out there waiting. Marianne knew that there was a Jennifer Cobb out there. She knew it. She didn't know it was me, but she knew it was me. And there's a funny part of that story too. She actually was, there was some incentive for silver that month. And so she was just starting to build under her husband. And so she threw me in as the third to get her husband silver, not wanting to build his business at all. And then I became a diamond, a year and 14 months later. So that was kind of a funny part of the story. So you never know who you're signing up. You never, ever know what's going to happen. So basically, I want that to lead into Instagram. I also want to say a couple of disclaimers before we start, because I never want anyone to feel like you have to do something that's not you. I don't ever want you to feel like, oh my gosh, my page has to look like hers, or I have to have as many followers as she has, or, she's home decor, so I should do home decor, or, she's showing fashion, I should do fashion. Like, you guys don't want to see me do fashion posts. Like, it would not be pretty. So I don't love fashion, but, I just think that you have to do what works best for you and be you. So that's going to be one of the main themes that we're going to kind of touch on for the next 30 minutes is being you and don't compare yourself to others, because we have people on our team. Yes, we are a very Instagram based team. My business is pretty much 100% Instagram. I've said 95% before, and then I laugh. I'm like, I don't think I even have 5% on Facebook. But Facebook's not my thing, you know? So, but I have a lot of people on my team who don't have big Instagram accounts. You know, they're just moms, and they share their kids, and they've got some family and friends on their Instagram account, but they're doing it effectively. You know, I have a girl on my team who had, when she started, like 200 followers, and they were all friends and family, and she's going for Senior Ruby this month. And she's doing it pretty much all on Instagram. So that's what my hopes are for this training, is to get you guys to feel never less than, or never like, I have to do all these things and I have to have the pretty filters and everything's got to look great. It doesn't. There are a couple things we're going to talk about that you probably shouldn't do, and you know, on your page, and to help clean out your page. But just know that there is a lot of flexibility and just being who you are. So we are going to talk about, I don't know if anyone saw my Express Live training that I did on Saturday. If so, we're going to touch on a little bit of what we talked about on that training, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail because I've got some more time with you guys than I did on that call. So I was talking about example posts. So when you guys do a post on Instagram, the number one thing that, this is hard sometimes, but the number one thing that I want you to do is have like a call to action. Okay, so when you're doing your post, you want to say something like I did a post where it was like, comment below your numbers. You know, number one was like, you have a sweet tooth. Number two is you have digestive issues, right? A call to action. I want people to write in the comments, even if your call to action, you guys, is super small. It can be like, message below, I want more info. People want to be told what to do. We are in a society of like, tell me what to do and how to do it quickly. Because if they have any ounce of like, how do I reach out to this person? I love this post. I'm relating to everything that she's saying. Like, what do I do? Do I comment in the comments? Do I message her? Like, what do I do? So this is going, we're going to be like teachers, right? Like, pretend like you're teaching like an elementary school class, right? You have to think about specific, easy steps and instructions and how-tos. So you could have something like, can you relate to this? Or, you know, do you relate to being tired? Do you relate to this? Do you relate to that? Like, have them answer in the comments. And if you're just doing like a testimonial post, we're going to talk about those too. But say you're putting up somebody's testimony, you can also just say, message me below for more information. And I'll often put in quotes, message below, I want more information. Like, because you will be surprised, you guys, they will go in the comments and they will say, I want more information. Like, they will do the word for word because it just makes them feel better. And then when you do post, you want to somehow come up with, we have what's called, I did not talk about this before on the Express Live, so this is new. We have engagement groups that we make ourselves in our own team. Okay, so I have them all separated differently, but you know, maybe start a little engagement group. Get with your power partners, get with your sideline sisters. And all it is, you guys, this is the simplest thing, is you want to just make a chat that you can post some sort of emoji. We do a plant, and you get with like, I don't know, 10, 12 friends, whomever, and put a little emoji, and then that tells your friends, I posted. So there's no talking in any of these chats. So if you're right away thinking like, I don't want another chat, like I am chatted out, there's no chatting in these. So you can have a chat that simply just, you put an emoji, we do a plant, and then, so say I posted and Emily's in my engagement group and I put a plant, she's gonna come in and she's gonna double click on my plant. She's gonna like my plant, which means that she went to my post and she liked it and she commented. And then here's the fun part. The arrow, if you guys can go on Instagram, I can send images of this too. You know what? I can send you some images, Emily, and you can send them to your team after this. I have this all screenshotted out. There is an arrow. I call it a paper airplane. It looks like a paper airplane under your Instagram post. You guys will know what I'm talking about when you go and look. All you have to do now is make two chats. You're gonna make two exact chats of the same people. If there's 10 in one, there's 10 in the other. So if you go and like that person's post, and then you can just send it with the arrow to another chat. So that chat's going to just get a whole bunch of posts sent to it. And what it does is it tells Instagram to pay attention to that post. Like, oh my gosh, this person's getting like all these things are getting sent, and it can help you with the algorithm. Algorithm is tricky. We don't have the answers to it. There's no like do this and you're going to be at the top of the algorithm. And people who say they know that there is that, they're lying. They just want to make money off of you. So don't take those classes. Don't do that stuff, because those people don't have any information we don't know. Instagram keeps a tight lock, and Facebook on all algorithm things. But we do know that the more posts get shared, as a fact, the more posts that get shared, the more likes you get. And then what it does is it just shows people, this is what I love about the engagement part, you guys. Forget the algorithm. What it shows is it makes people open in your comments to go, well, that person asked, I'm going to ask. Now I don't feel dumb. And play dumb with your friends. Like, play dumb. Be like, Emily, can you share more info? Tell me more. Like, share more information about that. You know, sometimes I'll hop. I mean, I comment on Emily's posts all the time. You know, sometimes I'll just be like, oh my gosh, this changed me too. Or thank God for my energy, you know, my pink drink or whatever. But sometimes I could hop in and be like, tell me more. Like, I want to know more about this. Okay. So you just want to, it's fun. I mean, I know it seems silly, but you're just kind of playing like a little game, and it shows people that it's okay to respond on my post. There's other people asking, you're not going to look silly by doing that. Yes, Instagram wingman. So that is the one of the most important things. So you can start those little engagement groups. They're fun. They're not overwhelming. And then you just get to kind of see ideas. And then you might be like, oh my gosh, I loved Amanda's post. Like, it was so, so, so good. And then you can use her post, because now you're like engaging with her. Okay. The other thing is, we talked about that paper airplane. Okay. The other thing you want to use that paper airplane for is when you click it, an option comes up that says add post to your story. There she goes. Yep, perfect. You got it. Add post to your story. So you want to do that every single post. Did you guys also know that you can turn on a little button under your settings that takes all of your Instagram posts to Facebook? Stories and posts. So I post on Facebook stories every single day, and I post every single day, and I don't ever go on Facebook to post ever. So you want to get the most bang for your buck. So why would you send your own post to your stories? Because you are targeting two different audiences. So the people who see your Instagram post are not necessarily the same group of people who will watch your stories. There are stories junkies and there are post junkies. And so you are going to reach so many more people by doing that. And it's just the work of one post, doing all these amazing things. One post can go to your feed, to your stories on Instagram, and then also to your Facebook feed and your Facebook stories. So we want to work smarter, right? So that is what is awesome about doing that. And then when you send it to your stories, you don't just send it to your stories. You send it to your stories and you can say, oh my gosh, head over to my post to hear the crazy thing that I did today. Or, you know, and you want to cover, you can cover it with a GIF that says like new post. Or if I did something crazy, say it was the end of August, I did this is true. I put out some pumpkins. And so I like sent that to my stories and I covered my post with a big giant pumpkin. And I said, you're not going to believe what I did today. And then so that gets people like, oh my gosh, did she take out the pumpkins? Like, so now I'm going to click on her story, and that's going to take me to her post. And then that's where I'm going to figure out what the heck did she do today. So that is just a really fun way to cross post. Okay, so that is something that, you know, if you guys aren't doing that yet, do it now, because it will totally help you reach some other people. Okay, so we're going to stay on the stories topic. With your stories, you always, 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 always want to have a poll or a call to action on your stories too. Okay, I see so often people will post and they'll have these beautiful slides, or they will have like a great story or something, and then and it just ends. There's nothing at the end of it. So you really, 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 really want to have even the slider. Do you guys all know what I'm talking about? There's like that slider you click and swing over. That you could do the DM box, the question box. I personally, if I could only choose one thing, it would be the polls. Okay, So your polls, you want to have 2 positive choices, okay? You never want to have a yes or a no. You want it to be like, I'm ready, need. Okay, so I just posted a whole big triplex story. I want to give people 2 positive responses, not because I'm trying to trick them. I'm not trying to bait and switch them. I am just trying to keep it positive. There's no time. If somebody's going to respond no, or I don't care, like I don't want to talk to that person, you know? So I am also saving myself time by doing that. And so then when you look at it, so it's really funny. I have a poll pulled up right in front of me. I had a 33% and a 67% answer. You know what that means? I had 100% positive answers, because it doesn't matter what side it came from. I had 100% people excited and positive about their response. So that is what I always recommend for that. And make it funny. Like sometimes I'll do like, duh, you know, or like, duh, of course, you know. And so people also like to click. They like to click. So, you know, are you going to get some funny people click? Yeah, you are. But you know what? Such is life. And so it just can always create a conversation. So when somebody clicks on your poll, I have a little script here, and I am going to send this all to you, Emily. Emily, I will send you my whole PowerPoint. I can send you that whole PowerPoint. Okay, so when somebody votes in a story, you would reply to them simply by saying, so you don't have to write this down, you guys are going to get this. Hey, Sarah, thanks so much for voting in my polls. In my story today, I'd love to share with you more about these supplements I'm using. Do you have any specific health goals right now? Okay, simple, easy, boom. Now we're playing ball, right? We have a ball, we threw it to them, and now we wait for them to respond. Let me tell you what old Jen used to do when I first started. I vomited information. Like I would reply and I would be like literally type up a storm. I would send the triplex video. I would send like backup images. And guess what? They weren't saying a thing. They were not responding to me. I was literally plexus vomiting on them. And I was like, gosh, I don't know why nobody's responding to me. And Marianne's like, can you show me a picture of your conversation? And I did. And I think she almost died. I think she was like, okay, whoa. Like you're leaving, there's nothing to the imagination. There's nothing to the imagination once we throw up all of our information. Then there's nothing else for us to talk about, right? So make it simple. I mean, never reply with more than 3 sentences and always end in a question. Do you have any specific health goals right now? You can sometimes say like, what did you love about my stories? Or what about my stories piqued your interest? You know, like whatever sounds like you. And don't copy and paste like a hey girl message if you're not a hey girl kind of girl, you know. Just make it sound like you. Always make your message sound exactly like you, and always contain the name of the person in the message. Takes an extra step, but always address them by their name. Okay, and then the other thing which I want to go back to, because I didn't say this before, but this is super important. We're going to go back to posts real quick. In the comments of the post, so somebody says they replied. Remember, I wanted them to reply, I need more information. So they replied, I need more information. So what do? I reply and I say, sending you a DM. You guys, it's that simple. That's it. That's all you reply. Sending you a DM. Sent you a DM. Do not say anything else, because the conversations in a chat, like a conversation, people are going to look at that and they're going to go, oh, that's plexus. My aunt's mother, sisters, brothers, uncles, cousins, niece did plexus and hated it. And it was like 7 years ago and nobody told her what to do. And she had 45 pink drinks a day, you know, like, so that's what you're dealing with when you throw out the word plexus in your post. It's not to say never say plexus, because if you guys go and look at my feed, you're going to see I say plexus, but there's a time and a place to say plexus. When you are doing a testimonial post, you want people to be reaching out saying, what did she use? So if I'm throwing out there like, this is my friend Katie and she uses plexus, and plexus is supplements and blah blah blah, you know, then no imagination. There's nothing they need to learn. They're not going to message me or click like, and we're not going to talk. You want to create that excitement and not like, well, I want to know. I want to know, like, what did she use? Tell me more. Like, those are the conversations you want. So all you need to reply is sending you a DM. That's it. And then you go to your DMs, and that is where you would say the same message that basically we just did with our stories, you know? Hey, Sarah, thanks so much for commenting on my post. I would love to chat with you more about the products that Sally was using in the testimony. Do you have any specific health goals right now? Or what stood out to you in that testimony? What caught your eye in that testimony? And then she's probably gonna reply like, well, gosh, she was so tired and she had, anxiety issues or digestive issues, and now I know where to go. Now we're playing ball, and now we can start that information back and forth. In your DMs, you guys, use voice message. You can start, I always say start with text. Start with text. It's kind of like going on a first date, right? Like you want to take it a little slow. So you can start with some text, and then as the conversation gets going, send at least one voice message. I don't care if it's just one. I tell people on my team, you got to send a voice message somewhere, because you want them to hear you are a legit person and you truly, truly, truly care about them, them. They will hear it in your voice. They will hear it in your voice, you guys. I promise you. They will be like, she's legit. She's legit. She's a real person. She's talking to me. So that is what I wanted to say about the post. Okay. On your stories, we're talking about plexus now, right? We're talking about like sharing plexus, sharing this, sharing that. That is not all you want to share. You want to share other things aside from plexus. Am I a plexus girl? Yes, but that's not all that I'm known for. My niche is home decor. So I do get a lot of people who come to me and they ask me home decor questions. And, I do polls on, this pillow or this pillow or this light or this light, But if I was just doing plexus, I'm not going to captivate as many people. So you want to find what your strength is. And you know how I think you find that? Like pull 3 friends of yours and say, what would you come to me for? Like if you were following me on Instagram, like what are 3 things you would come to me for? And you'll be surprised. Like you'll be surprised what people will tell you. I didn't start a home decor account because I was like, I'm an awesome decorator. I started it because I had people tell me, start a page, I was sharing it on my personal account and everybody was like, start a page, share this stuff, And so that's why I started it, because somebody told me. So ask people, don't be afraid to say like, what do you think my strengths are? And they might say, you know what, Megan, you are the best cook. Like you cook the best crock pot recipes I've ever seen in my entire life. Megan's like, no, I don't either, Megan. You should see my cooking. It's really sad. It will not be shown on my stories. I show my husband cooking. But share it then. Share it. Share the crock pot recipes. If you're just a boy mom, share the boy mom craziness. Like this is what my house looks like with 3 boys. Or, if you're a soccer mom, share the soccer field. Like share, people want to see mundane stuff. I joke with Marianne. One of the reasons why I followed Marianne is because I love to watch her do her laundry. Like, is that ridiculous? Like, she does the best laundry stories. Like, she's talking to you and folding her laundry. And I'm like, shoot, I should go fold my laundry, because she was like influencing me to go and like do my laundry. So know that you have influence no matter who you are. I promise you, all of you guys on here, I don't have to know you to know that you have influence. You just don't know what it is yet, maybe. So find out what that is and share it. If you like to DIY, if you like to paint, whatever, if you're an artist, whatever, share it. And I promise that's going to provide more value to your followers. So then when you share plexus, they're like, oh, I love her paintings. She's an amazing artist. Like, what is she saying about plexus? Let me listen more. So if you're posting plexus every single day and that's all you're posting, start to add some other things in. I promise it will make your engagement higher and people will just be excited. So what are we going to do? What's our goal on social media? I did this at the Express Live and people went crazy about it. Normalize the pink drink. I want you guys to seriously write that down. Normalize the pink drink. The pink drink is normal. It should be a household name. It should be in everyone's household. When we say the pink drink, people should know what the pink drink is. And trust me, there's an army of us on social media who are connecting on the same team, not on the same team, to make sure that we are normalizing the pink drink. We want to show, like I post it at the soccer field. Like I don't have to talk about the pink drink. You know, Emily does this amazing, you know, like everywhere she is, she's got a pink drink. She might not even be referring to it, you know, but she's sitting at her pool, she's got a pink drink. She's doing a road trip, she's got her pink drink, right? But that's just as effective as posting 4 slides about it, right? Do we have to post the slides? We do. We need to be giving information too. But you want to just show how this is normal. Because if I'm following Emily, I'm like, this girl's legit. Like she's drinking her pink drink every day. Like she is not making this up. Like, you know, because what happens is influencers, you guys, like influencers will drink something once because they get paid to share it. They're throwing that stuff in the garbage so fast when they're done doing that little, you know, collaboration. This is not, well, this is a collaboration. This is like the best collaboration ever because we get to do whatever we want. So anyone can do this, right? But I mean, just, you know, it shows that this is legit and people want to see that. They're so used to seeing influencers, like one day they're drinking Calm from Walmart, you know, and the next day they're like drinking some, you know, some goalie vitamins or whatever, which that might be great. I don't do those, but you know, my point is they're constantly changing. So we are going to be their stagnant normalcy, right? Like we are going to be the one that says like, no, I'm still doing this, you know, like 2 years later, I'm still taking these products and I'm loving them more than I even was 2 years later. And they are a part of my daily routine. So it's also going to help you with your current ambassadors because they're going to see that you are legit and that you are taking these every day and that, oh, I shouldn't stop these after 30 or 60 days because this is a life thing, right? So normalize the pink drink. Every time you're sharing it, just make it normal. Make it a part of your normal routine. So we're going to talk real quick. Oh my gosh, we're getting so late. About just being authentic. This is where this is what I want to close you guys out with, which is really, really, really important. I'm saving the best for last year. You want to be authentic and friendly, right? You want to just always be you. When we start to try, I've done this, you guys, I've done it. When you start to try to be somebody else, that's when you lose your way. That's when you lose your way. And that is why social media is hard because people will try to do things that they're not comfortable with. You know, like I'm not a cook. So for me to get on social media and just start doing like cooking stories, like that's awkward. People are gonna be like, where is that coming from? And she's horrible. Like she doesn't know what she's doing. Clearly, she has no idea what she's doing. So I mean, don't try, you know, to be Emerald Lagasse if you don't cook, you know, don't try to be a fashion model if you love leggings like I do, you know, like don't try to do those things because it's not you. So once you are you, then you are building trust and it's like this circle of life. It literally is. Like it literally creates this amazing, amazing, amazing thing. I did not like, you guys, before I started Plexus, I hated, this is horrible, but I hated looking at myself. Like I hated being on stories. I never took a selfie. I mean, my first like post, I mean, not my first post, my picture with Plexus, like when I hit silver and super silver at the time and gold, whatever, was like a picture with my son from like 4 years ago. Like I just, that's how little I didn't want to put myself out there. Now I am out there every single day, you know, like I have to be because I can't be a person behind a computer. I've got to be in front of the camera and not behind the camera all the time because there's gonna be no trust. There's no trust. And I don't just mean showing pictures of like you and your kids. That's not what I mean. You know, you want to be showing you. Like show yourself as a hot mess. Like show yourself together. Show yourself struggling. You know, show yourself with the pink drink. And then what happens is that's consistency. That's where the beauty begins. It doesn't matter how many followers you have, how new you are to Instagram. It doesn't matter at all. Instagram is different than Facebook, though, you guys. It is different. Facebook is like your friends and your family. A little more comfort zone. Instagram is like you are really trying to make some new connections. You know, you want to be spending time, like an hour a day, going and finding friends. And I know it sounds silly, but you do. You want to. You want to look like, if you are a soccer mom, hashtag soccer mom. Go find other soccer moms and like comment on their stories, you know, comment on their posts, make a relationship. And then what's going to happen? They can follow you back, and then you're going to pop up to the top of their feed. Your story bubble is going to pop up at the top, and now you've made a new friend. You know, and it sounds creepy at first, but it's just the way that Instagram works. And it's actually a really beautiful, beautiful thing, because I've made some actual real friends before Plexus on Instagram, you know, and I mean, it's just, you share a lot of similarities with them. So that is something that I want you guys to do. And I don't want you guys to post and pray. Never put a post up and pray that it's going to do well and walk away and go do dinner. Or walk away and go like, I'm going for a walk, and close the computer and walk away and be like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to have 50 comments, and they're all going to ask to join Plexus, and they're going to ask, you know, to sign them up. Like, that's never going to happen. It's never going to work. So when you guys post, I want you to stay. Don't post and pray, post and stay. I want you to stay, and I want you to reply. I still do this to this day. I know, like now with virtual homeschooling and all that fun stuff, I know I cannot post if I've got a Zoom going on with my first grader, right? Like, I have to like post when he's off his Zoom, because I know my head has to be in my phone. It has to be. I have to, as soon as somebody comments, and mind you, it could be 4 people on my team that are the first comments, I'm still replying to them, because it is going to help with my engagement. It's going to bring me up in the algorithm if I am replying right away. So always like somebody's comment and reply right away. Even if they say the silliest thing, like, oh girl, I hear you. Reply like, I know, right? Or something, you know, like always reply. And sometimes you're like, but I have to. Like, I have to. I ask Emily all the time. It's really funny. A lot of the questions I ask her, Emily, I don't know if you know this, but I'm always like, where did you get that outfit? And I really want to know, but I also know she got it in like a really cute boutique where she lives, and I'm probably never going to get it, but that's my engaging with her. And she always replies, here's where I got it, or, you know, I got it here, or I love it, or it comes in other colors. She doesn't have to reply to me, but she knows I have to reply to her because it's going to help me. So I want you guys to just get comfortable with doing that and start those engagement chats and get used to doing it with each other. Make yourself accountable. Like, if there's 10 people in a chat, let's try to see like 10 emojis in here today. That means that all 10 of you guys posted, you know, and then just start getting used to doing it, and it will just, it will become a habit. It will become a habit, and you guys will absolutely crush it. So that's what we're going to do. Our big 3 key takeaways from today are going to be: share other things in Plexus, right? We're going to share other things in Plexus. We are going to be ourselves. Be you. Be you. Don't be anybody else. Be you. And then be consistent. Be consistent. So with the posting, the stories, Facebook, Instagram, all of it, and it will all work out. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's not going to work out like by tomorrow, but it's going to work out. And you guys just have fun while you're doing it. And you know how I know you guys are going to be awesome on it? Because I've never seen like this many faces, even on a smaller Zoom. Like, you guys are showing your faces now. That's a big deal. Like, that's a big deal. You know, I used to not show my face on videos, and it was like 2 months in, and I'm like, I think I need to show my face on these Zooms, you know? So always show your face. Throw a hat on if you have to, you know, whatever. Go sit outside and put sunglasses on if it's that bad, you know, like, but just show your face. So I am so excited that you guys invited me. Emily, I am seriously honored. And I want to say this too real quick. It is surreal to me that I was asked to do this by Emily Roberts, because let me tell you something. When I first joined, you guys, like, I mean, I was literally like, if I ever meet this girl in person, like, I probably will die. Like, so, I mean, because she's incredible. So I almost, at 2 points, I'm like, I can't believe I'm going on there, because they've got like the best leader ever. Like, here I am coming on, you know, but I just want to let you guys know that believe that you can do it. I don't care where you want to go. I don't care if you want to be a diamond or not. Not everybody wants to be a diamond. I have a lot of people on my team who do not want to be diamonds, you know, but if you want to be a ruby, you're going to be a ruby. Just tell yourself, I'm going to be a ruby. I'm going to be a senior ruby. You know, on that day when I joined on July 12th, I never for 1 second, you guys, doubted I couldn't do it. Never. I looked at my 12-year-old, who I wish was here because he will come on my Zooms. My team loves my middle son. They love all my kids, but they really love my middle son. And like, he will literally come on and be like, she's not lying. Like, my mom is telling the truth. I looked at him and I was like, Brayden, I'm going to do this. He was like, Mom, you are. I said, no, Brayden, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to change the trajectory of our family, because you guys, we had nothing. We were on food stamps when I joined. We were on Medicaid and food stamps when I joined. And, you know, now I'm making this like insane salary. It's so surreal. And, you know, I just don't think I could have done it if I didn't believe that I couldn't, you know, I couldn't do it. I knew I could do it. So I want you guys to leave here with confidence and just know that you are all amazing. And the fact that you're on here just shows that you want this and you will get it. I promise you guys. I don't make promises lightly, but I promise you, like, this could be the start of something new, you know, just getting out there and putting yourself out there and just believing the process, and it will work. So
I completely agree. And something that I have told them from the beginning, especially those that have been here for a while, I always said, you know, your social sharing feels like a full-time job in the beginning, especially if you're someone that wasn't sharing ever on social media before, and you're looking or listening to us and you're like, you want me to do what, when, why, what? And it seems like a lot until you come up with a system of, okay, I know when I have time to get online. Like she mentioned, she can't get online at certain times because of homeschool or whatever is your schedule or your routine. So like for me personally, I get up in the morning. Y'all know I make my bed every morning. Like that is my thing. And everyone knows now. And now they'll tag me because they made their bed. So I influence people to make their beds. It's strange, but I'm glad. So that's my thing. And then at lunchtime or right before lunch, you'll see me drinking my collagen coffee, making my pink drink, or some sort of post for the day, probably my kids, because mine are little and crazy. And then in the evening, that's where my magic happens. That's where I have my plexus time. That's where I know I have 15 to 30 minutes to sit there, respond, answer anything, check my polls, because I'm so bad about that. I always forget to check my stats. I'm one of those people that didn't put a poll at the end of things for a long time. And it was actually Jenny she was like, I was waiting to vote and there was nothing there. And I was like, dang it. So I loved your tips. It was so good. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. One was, if you don't mention plexus, what are some fill-in words, or how do you describe it if you're not straight up saying the P word?
Right. Yeah, we don't. We usually say like all natural, plant-based regimen, or, you know, this gut health. We say gut health a lot. We used to not at the beginning, but it's becoming a thing now. You can see all the other companies are doing it. So this gut health routine, anything that's like plant-based. If you say plant-based, people are hooked, you know, or gut health, or even just what I do every day. People are like, what do you do every day? You know, like, what are you taking? Even showing the products, just showing them. Then you don't have to say the name. And one of the things that I kind of think is an unwritten rule, and I think people would agree or disagree with it, is I think the newer you are, the less you should say plexus. And I think as you become a little bit more established, you know, everyone pretty much knows that I do plexus. You know, not everyone, I still get new followers, but, you know, I feel like you can kind of say it a little more because they know, like, that's your bread and butter. We're sharing the business, you know, opportunity or lifestyle, that sort of thing. But I think if you're just coming out of the gates, definitely don't shout out like, you guys, I'm starting plexus, do this with me, you know, because you're going to get those comments. And then people go to Google, and we don't ever want people going to Google because of the horrible things that are on Google about anything in life, right? So so I think just plant-based, all natural, daily routine, those kind of things.
I agree. I would say that too. And that's something that, so this morning I did a live. We're doing a challenge right now where we're messaging 50 people in the next 5 days, because this month has been a slower, quieter month. And I'm really encouraging my team to get on Instagram. That's why I wanted you to come and share all your knowledge with us. But I think some of the biggest ways, especially if you're new, some people on here do not have Instagram at all yet, so they're going to make an Instagram account. And I think there's someone, either one of your sidelines, or maybe you can tell us if this is even true. There was someone on your team that started on Instagram and grew very quickly, like grew their followers very quickly. Was that one of you guys? Or
Oh, was it Allie McPhail? My
maybe.
Style by the Sea?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she started, I think she started with like, I mean, she had an Instagram, started with like 2,000 followers or something, and then she skyrocketed up to like 30,000.
Crazy.
Just because she was sharing health, and that's just what her followers wanted. You know, she hit a chord with them, and that's what they wanted. You know, so but I have people on my team who, like I said, I have 200 followers, 300 followers, you know, and so a lot of those are family and friends too. But you'll get a different audience on Instagram, which is great, you know, like, and don't ever define yourself by the number of followers. I have had people, and I don't say this to discourage you guys, I say this hopefully to encourage you. I have influencers on my team who have 50, 60,000 followers, and they're having trouble going gold. You know, so it doesn't mean that if you have 50, 60,000 followers, like all of a sudden, because it just depends on your engagement, you know, and how many people, like, so for me, pretty much all of my engagement is in my stories. I get very high view in my stories, but my posts are it just don't get that much engagement in my posts. Which is okay. So that's why I do more of my business in my stories. I do a Plexus post about twice a week on my feed, but on my stories, I'm like 6 days a week, something Plexus.
I agree. And I was not a stories person. I was actually one of those people that was like, what are these circles up here?
Yeah.
Like when it first popped up, I didn't know what it was. I'm a 3 on the Enneagram, so I'm very consistent and I'm loyal to anything that I begin. And so once I figured out, oh, stories are kind of like mini Facebook Lives.
Yeah.
And it really boosted my confidence to get back on. I wasn't ready for Facebook Lives again because they know I took a hiatus from my business back in 2018 when you joined.
Right.
But then these stories gave me new confidence. So for those of you, which I saw this question a few times about, like, do I have to go live on Instagram? Do I have to go live? These stories are going to give you this confidence because you're walking them through your day to day. And this gives you a place to show up and be consistent, judgment free. I think that's why I like Instagram so much, because it truly is like a judgment free zone. Facebook is so your family and your naughty aunt that is like waiting to wag her finger, and then you get on Instagram and it's like, I'm a savage, and like people are dancing and they're crazy. Like you're like, there she is, there's the girl that I met in 8th grade, like, you know what I mean? Like there's two different platforms, and people are like way more fun on Instagram. You can be yourself. It's just way more fun. Like it's funny because I have Instagram friends that are complete strangers, but they're my friends. Like I comment on their stuff, they comment on mine, they live on the other side of the world. Some of them are in Australia, but like they're my friends. And when I'm posting something, they're like, what are you going through? And I'm like, it's crazy. I've never met you, but you know more about me than some people.
I know. Oh, so true. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the new pen pal. That's all it is.
It is. It's like a pen pal.
It is, but it's so fun and it's exciting. Someone asked, how do you narrow your audience on Instagram? Rebecca Folks actually has this on her blog, and Jen, you may have a different answer for this, but what we have been taught in the past was if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. So who is your ideal customer? I mean, with Jen, she has home decor and health on hers, so she's really all inclusive. Like anyone can go check her out. Like if you come to my Instagram, it's mom stuff. I like fashion, so mine is my outfit of the day. And okay, and mine,
you're like lifestyle. Yours is lifestyle.
Very like we all have a story to tell. That became like my tagline or whatever. But like we all have a story to tell, and I feel like my calling from the Lord is to help people tell their stories. Like that is what He has put me on this planet to do, because it is scary to tell your story. So I am like influencing people to be authentic and be bold, and like, you know how y'all call me sassy. I'm not really sassy. I'm just being honest because that's what I'm trying to be obedient. So I think it just kind of depends. So like Laura, you're a teacher, right? Laura's the one that asked the question. Laura's a teacher and you live in North Texas, right, Laura? Yeah. So you think of your audience, teachers. They tired. They sick of kids. They're like moms. So you probably have a general audience of women. The majority is going to be women, and
Right.
they're anywhere from 20 to 60. So when you're posting, just keep those things in mind. You could get away with having a pretty feminine Instagram account, like hands down, totally think. But like you like to teach, right? You love teaching. Why do you love teaching? How can you incorporate teaching them about something else, or incorporate that gift? I mean, you're a teacher. I feel like that's just
Oh, teachers, I think, are the best. Like when people are always like, I'm not in sales, I'm not a salesperson. I'm like, but are you a teacher? Because if you're a teacher, like I feel like you have a big, big, big leg up in this business because we are teaching people about these products. We are teaching people about better health. We are teaching people how to do this business. We are not selling anything. I tell my team that all the time. I'm like, if you're selling something, people know you're selling something. So just share. That goes back to that whole authentic thing. Share yourself authentically. That's how you will start. That's how people start this business. That's the only way.
You're rephrasing, rewording your story every day. So every day I wake up and I make my bed, okay? And you guys know this, but every day I wake up with a new song, and it's like in a different place in my story. Sometimes I don't make my bed until 7 o'clock, and I'm getting in it in 2 hours, but I still make it because it's like my routine. So the same thing with your social sharing posts. You're making that post, but it's not about you. We make it about us all the time and internalize, and they're going to hate it, and they're going to think I'm trying to sell. And it's like, stop. Make the post for them. What can you teach them? What can you show them? What can you remind them? Like, hey, for instance, Sarah. I met Sarah at a burn boot camp here in my town. And, what was Sarah not capable of doing 4 years ago? You wouldn't have set foot in a burn boot camp 4 years ago, right? So what has changed in the last 4 years? Why? Oh, that pink drink. Remember that pink drink that I started drinking a couple of years ago? Well, guess what it's helped me do since then. And it's reminding people that this was a tool from a toolbox that you're using, or a stepping stone. A lot of y'all know Claudia. Claudia is one of my level 1. She's not on the call tonight, but you've seen her pictures from being considered obese in the doctor's office, and now she does bikini competitions and figure competitions. And her story is remarkable. Plexus was her stepping stone to her first burpee, because I was hosting Mommy and Me workouts at the park. That's how we met. I didn't even know how to do a burpee. My husband had to show me in the garage before I left. And so like, here I am teaching people about health and wellness. And when I'm like, YouTube stuff. Yeah. But that's how I met her. It's just showing up and doing it. Stop doubting the purpose and the reason behind it, because that's going to come out no matter what, but it's just doing it. And for like Claudia, for instance, she had never done a burpee. She had never taken a vitamin in her entire life. She was very overweight, but every day I handed her a pink drink because she was always the first and the last one to leave every day. And she couldn't afford it. I knew she couldn't, but I knew it was helping her. And she would come back to work out just for the pink drink. And then when she had saved up enough, she got an RN job. And she was a nurse, and she was one of the first ambassadors on my team to go gold. And now she's on her way to be Ruby and Senior Ruby, and she's doing figure competitions. Like, what? It's mind blowing. And she always says, Plexus was my stepping stone to this. If I would have never had a pink drink, I would have never picked up a weight, ever. And I just love that, because some of us are like that with whatever. I would have never gotten out of bed every day if it weren't for my pink drink. I would have never made it to school on time if it weren't for my active. I would have never made it to teach my students all the way till 3 o'clock if it weren't for my ease, or, whatever. Yvonne, my upline, Eastern, she worked retail. And one day her boss said, you didn't come in yesterday. And she's like, yeah, my mom's in the hospital. And he's like, you're fired. But she, would make all these religious posts about her East cream and getting through retail through the holidays. And she was very loyal to that brand that she worked for. But the second they fired her, and she posted that she was going to have to do Plexus full time, her community, the culture and the posts and the consistency that she created, people wanted to order to help her. And then a year later, she went through a divorce and lost her mom. So all these women just wanted to do anything they could to help her Plexus business. So it's almost like a live diary. That's how you could consider your Instagram or your Facebook. to keep out creepers. They're always going to be there. Someone asks that question. You're always
Yeah,
creepers and stalkers. Just block them.
just
Don't,
block them.
don't click on the pictures. Don't open the message. Just
Yeah,
block them.
just block them. Yeah, they're really not as bad as you would think. Really, I mean, they're not. They don't bother me that much.
Say hi, dear. Hello, dear.
Hello, dear, and you're like, block. Okay, moving on. You know, and you're gonna get some mean people. That's life. Bless and
You don't
release
have to
them.
tolerate it. You can remove
No,
the comment, remove the person. It's your feed. I don't tolerate it. I just
I
like,
don't either.
I'll go back and forth if I'm feeling feisty. Maybe you do too. But
Yeah,
then like, I don't know.
you do too. I do too, but you could just remove the comment and then like back it up, you know, but create that community. I don't know what all of your relationships are to each other, like team wise, but create that community within yourselves. Like grab, just like with Plexus, how you need accountable partners, grab somebody for Instagram, grab